Morning, morning, Steph. How's it going? Long time no speak. We
Yeah,
do
man.
own other clothes, by the way, don't we,
Yeah,
guys?
we do. But I love a black hoodie. It's like morning outfit or something like that. But yeah,
Yeah, just throw it on.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say morning as in like death. That sort of morning.
Yeah, not
Depends
quite.
depends what Milan game we've watched. Yeah, all good, man. All good.
Good.
Yeah, not bad. Happy to talk about an interesting topic today.
Yeah,
Which I think will
this
get
is a good one.
opinions not too much riled up, but actually might differ quite a lot considering there's four different options. But yeah,
Why don't
um,
you? Why don't you
I'll
start?
do,
Ask the question.
yeah,
I answer
I'll
the
do it for
question.
once then. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
come
I
on.
thought about this one and be a good topic one. So we've obviously played a lot of different pairings of centre backs this season, and each of them have had very much different runs of form. Specifically here, we're going to talk about basically Gabbia, Thiaw, Pavlovic, and Tomori. Now, the question here is, and I think there's two questions: who is our best centre back right now? And I say right now because I think form is obviously a beautiful thing. And equally, who is our best centre back pairing? And I think the things to think about here, when you specifically with the pairing element, is the combination of defenders here. And I want us to run ourselves a little bit back here when we have probably our prior best pairing that we had. Probably obviously Kalulu and Tomori, great Scudetto season, the second half of it. But like I thought Kier and Tomori in itself was an excellent pairing because the experience and
Yeah, balance each other's out
yeah,
perfectly.
versus
Yeah.
the aggression of Tomori. And I think things like that is what's probably constituted my opinion with my answer. But the main question being, who do you think our best centre back is right now? And equally, the follow up question, which I'm not so much precious on, but who is the best pairing?
We
Is what
haven't prepared this either. We don't know what each other are going to say, which is
yeah,
going to be
gonna
exciting. So,
freestyle it. So I mean, I'll go first with
yeah.
best centre back. I'll say best centre back. My preferred centre back out of the four. I will go for this is tough because
I know mine quite easily,
the
actually.
different skill sets. I think I know who you're going for.
Yeah.
I am going to go for Gabbia.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Um, I think the other centre backs offer a lot. I think if you look at Pavlovic's aggression, his work rate, his aerial ability, I think those are his best elements. I think his interceptions are fantastic as well. However, I think he potentially can find himself from an IQ perspective caught out a few times, specifically against better attackers. Got bodied by Lukaku, I'll never forget that as well
Oh God, yeah, that was bad.
in the game against Roma. Tomori, very very similar in certain veins with his aggression, his willingness to win the ball back. His speed. Pavlovic also has great speed as well. So if you want to compare those two, but I think his weaknesses is his aerial ability, his intelligence, and I think his passing ability isn't great either. And then Malik Chow, which is the third option I didn't go for. I think his passing ability is great. I think in the air he's solid. I think he's a well-rounded defender. I think from an IQ perspective, he's stepped up a lot this season compared to his previous years. Didn't have a great start to the year, obviously with the own goal against Torino, but I think he's kicked on quite a lot since he was dropped out of the team. And I think his other weaknesses are probably he needs to work a little bit more on his strength. I think he's considering the size of the player. I think he can definitely maybe work on his build a bit more to be a bit more physical against some centre backs that he potentially struggles against. And the reason I went for Gabbia, I think if you look at all those things I just mentioned there, I think he overall gives us a well-rounded defender, and I like someone who is a bit of everything personally, rather than having certain elements that they are nines and tens out of tens, and other elements that they're like sort of fours and threes. I think Gabbia gives the right amount of aggression and care because obviously he's a Milanista, which I love. I think he's great in the air. I think he's got great passing range. I think he is willing to go against centre backs with great physicality and not sort of be bullied too much. Yeah, I think overall, I think he gives us a great game, and I think he is an excellent player when I come onto the pairing element that you can pair with a more aggressive defender. That's my answer.
Great answer. And I think I'm going to put a prediction, and we're going to do the pairings afterwards. But I think we have the same pairing, I believe. But I think we have a slightly different favoured centre back. But we'll see, because we don't know. We haven't prepared. It's quite often tough. I think Steph knows who my favourite is, or I think who's the best. And I've actually just done a quick Google because I wasn't quite sure on the ages. I've just double checked. So I agree with that. If I had to put a number 2, it would firmly be Gabbia. I think you're right in identifying that Gabbia is probably our most all-rounded centre back. I think he's got good enough passing, good enough aerial ability, good reading of the game. He's good in one-on-one duels. He is clearly, if you had a FIFA card, he'd have like 70 to 80 in every stat kind of thing. He's really
and obviously, look, he fucked up against Zagreb. Yeah, I will not hide against that.
All of our centre backs have that in them. Do you know what I mean?
I was going to say, and other than that, is he actually known for the most mistakes indiviusally? I don't personally think he is. I think the other are. But anyway, carry on.
No.
Through the comment section.
It's a good point, because every single one of our centre backs, every single one of the 4 have done something glaring in the last year. Like every single one. Like they've all got. Hopefully they've got them out of them. At least the 2 that we're identifying. But all 4 of them have done something. So anyway, my pick for the best centre back, and it has to be highlighted of what Steph said. This right now, current form this season, not like historically, like right now, as of the player they are today, is Malick Thiaw. I think Malick Thiaw is our best centre back. My reasonings are, I think his passing is incredible, not just good. I think it's incredible. I think his line breaking passing from the centre back is some of the best I've seen in Europe.
The break the line passes are like exceptional.
It genuinely, for his age at 23, and this is why I double checked, he is our youngest centre back by a mere 5 months. Pavlovic is also 23. They're both 2001, but Thiaw is August, whereas Pavlovic is May, so 4 months even. So he's our youngest centre back, and his passing as just one attribute is genuinely the best. He's the best passer in our team. For me, that's like literally cannot deny that. Reinders is probably, in terms of like close passing, second, but Thiaw is our best passer. So he is an elite passer. Beyond that, I think he has shown such a huge improvement since last season and since the start of the season on those things that were making him shaky, such as his reading of the game. He was very like giraffe-like, is what I'd like to say with Thiaw. It's different to Pavlovic. Pavlovic is like a bit of a lanky rhino. I would call like Thiaw a bit giraffe-like. He kind of sticks limbs out here and there. He's kind of learned his body, or understood his body a bit more. He's got the frame, the perfect centre-back frame. He's like 6'3", 6'4". He's not as lanky as Pavlovic. He's sort of more solid and built. I do agree with your point that I think he lacks the understanding of how to use his muscle a bit, but I think that's going to come, because again, he's 23, and for centre-backs, that's really young. His aerial ability is brilliant, and his reading of the game has vastly improved. Like, look at Verona yesterday. He and Gabbia were marshalling that back line really well. Now, Verona are not a threat. Like, let's get it straight. But they understood the high line that Conceição wants to put forward so well. You had Thiaw. He does those little runs into sort of the second opponent's half, and he'll just ping a beautiful like through ball straight into the feet of Felix often yesterday, or Pulisic and Leao and co. And for me, that is exceptional. And the little things that he does have wrong, such as the mistakes, like all our centre backs that we talked about at the start of the season, the Torino, that giraffe limb thing he has going on, and also for me those one-on-one duels, I think he can do a lot better for a man of his size. I think if he irons those things out, I think he is genuinely, and I know I laughed at you. I don't know if you guys remember us discussing about Bayern Munich coming in for 50, 60 million. If he irons those things out, he is that level of player.
Yeah.
Malick Thiaw for me. So he's my pick for our best centre back. But I have to say, Gabbia's number 2. I'd be interested to see who your number 2 was, just so that. Was it also Thiaw? Is your number 2? Not quite.
Yeah, I think it is. Although necessarily that isn't my answer for pairing.